So as we all know, there are many traders right now who are really questioning themselves if prop firms are actually stealing from traders, especially new and beginning traders. Right now we have a low count of traders who are actually receiving payouts. And I could say about 7% who are actually trading prop firms will only achieve the payouts, while 93% of those traders do not even achieve a payout. So what is this saying about prop firms? Is it the prop firms that are doing something wrong on their end? Or is it the traders who are not really actually experienced, who are very gullible and falling into these traps and losing a lot of capital? So we are going to dig right into that right now. Hello everybody, it's JG Trades. Welcome back to another video where I am teaching you guys how to learn how to trade and making sure that you are becoming a successful trader in every single way, shape, and form. So there's a question in the air right now, and this question is, are prop firms stealing from traders? Okay, so is the prop firm industry actually built and designed to steal your money? So here are my personal opinions. I'm not going to get into a lot of nonsense conversations that doesn't really matter. I'm going to give you the conversation that I think everybody wants to hear to see if prop firms are actually taking your money or not. And I believe it lies on the line of a 50-50, meaning I do believe there's prop firms out there who are actually designed to steal your money, take your money, but there's also prop firms out there who definitely want to see you succeed and be successful. Now, as a whole, do I believe that prop firms are on the trader side? Absolutely not. And the reason why is because if every single trader was profitable, prop firms would not exist. Number one, they wouldn't have enough liquidity. They don't have enough funds to actually pay out every single trader. Remember, you're in a trading space where a lot of traders who trade, somebody who is making money is losing, and somebody who is losing money is making money. So obviously that is the truth about trading, and there's nothing we can do about it. The thing is, what we can do is only control our response to the market, our response to trading, our response to how we actually click that buy or sell button. Now, let me get to another fact when it comes to prop firm trading. Only 7% actually achieve prop firm payouts, okay? Now, what about the 93%? Those traders actually lose their funds, significantly lose their funds. And I don't mean just lose their funds just by, buying a challenge account, getting their account breached, and they lose their funds. I'm talking about they're constantly losing money. They will have their account breached, they will lose their money, they immediately go buy another one, and then the same results keep happening. Now, I would say some of these traders are very gullible. They just think that they could just buy a prop firm account and just expect everything just to fall in their hands, thinking that every single trade that they place is going to go in that direction, knowing that that's not the case. Many traders are not consistent in their strategy, and they lack follow through, and they lack a trading plan. So I think it's really important as a trader that when you buy a prop firm, you need to have a prop firm account. You need to have some boundaries, some trading plans in place to make sure that you know what you're doing. Now, on the other hand, I do believe that the prop firm industry is definitely robbing traders from having strict rules, from having unrealistic rules, right? And actually having hidden rules. Now, there's a lot of prop firms who will defend themselves and say, oh, we don't have hidden rules, check the facts, X, Y, Z, right? Then when you go check their facts, it's not in the facts, and all of a sudden, for some odd reason, the rule is actually placed somewhere else, which is very interesting and outstanding to me, that the rules, that there's not a place where rules are set in one place. Sometimes you have to go searching on the internet to figure out where they actually are talking about their rules, which is very interesting. Now, like I said, every prop firm is different. Every website is different. Every single prop firm does not have the same tactics, okay? And one thing that is really sickening me when it comes to these rules is they limit traders. They limit traders and their potential, because you can actually have your edge. You can actually be really good at trading. You just may not be good at trading prop firms. And the reason why I say this is because sometimes your rules limits the way you trade. So the prop firm industry, it's like it's subjecting you to them, not they are there to help you. Which is interesting because I understand that the prop firms say, hey, well, we're putting up the capital, we're putting up the money, we're the ones that's offering all this. But at the end of the day, when a trader loses their fund, right, funded account, when a trader is actually investing into a prop firm account and they keep continuously losing it, guess who's getting paid for that? The prop firm, right? Guess who's getting paid for when we make money for them in a live in the live account when we get funded? The prop firm. For them is a win-win situation. Here's another issue that I'm really about to tackle that I think if you are a prop firm owner and you are watching this video, you should be held accountable in every aspect for doing this. If you say that you are going to pay out a trader and they sign a contract agreement with you stating that all these things you must sign, knowing that you are going to pay them and you're going to take care of your customer, and they're making all this money, and there's nowhere in your rules that says you cannot make more than $40,000, $50,000, in a week or 2 weeks or a month, and you say, you know what, I'm not going to pay you out, and the customer replies, how come I'm not going to get paid out? I worked so hard for this, and then you in return will say, because our business will go down and we just won't be able to run our business properly, then you should be held accountable for that. You should be taking responsibility for that. And I do not think that any prop firm in the world should definitely do that. Now, if you're going to do that, I believe you should quickly pay the trader out in increments. So if you make $40,000, say, okay, hey, every single week we'll pay you it in $10,000. Don't come behind the scenes and say, oh, we can't run our prop firm. We got to pay out other traders. Oh man, we just don't have enough money to pay everybody out. It's just saturated. That's making excuses. However, on the trader side, this is what you signed up for. On the trader side, this is the risk that you're taking. So I can see why a lot of regulations are coming in, because there are prop firms here that are definitely not doing their job. People think they could just build a prop firm and expect everything to go well, expect their clients to be happy, and it's not happening. To be honest, it's not happening. It's why a lot of traders have FOMO. It's why a lot of traders go through depression. It's why a lot of traders go through anxiety, because every time they seem to accomplish their goals, every single time they seem to get to a place that they always dreamed about, there's always a prop firm there to do them dirty, and they should be held accountable for that. So from my experience as well, it's definitely mind-blowing that there are actually prop firms out here to rob your money, to secretly steal your money by saying, hey, you can't do this, you can't do that. But you know what's so funny? It's so crazy and mind-blowing that if you had your live account, and you know what, I'm going to say this with advice. I advise you, everyone who is trading with prop firms, to eventually trade your live funds. You do not need a prop firm account if you have large funds. Now, I'm not going to say that all prop firms are bad, right? Because I trade on a prop firm myself. I think that, prop firm I'm trading with, the rules a little bit too much, but it's doable, right? So if you can get around the rules and actually get to a position where it's doable and you can make some money, then absolutely, that's great. And there's nothing wrong going full time trading prop firm money. If that's all you believe that is your way to go to, and you're doing very well, then keep going. But what I am saying is, if you are part of that 7%, this is probably not applying to you as much. You're probably going to comment and say, oh, that's bull crap. I make a ton of money, blah, 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 X, Y, Z. Okay, cool. But there's a lot of other traders here who have a different strategy, who are very limited and are forced to learn something else, or forced to go another route because they are very limited with all these crazy rules. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. There's even prop firms right now who are constantly changing their rules. They're even constantly adding rules to where I remember back in the day where you can trade news, right? You can hold a trade through news. But now they saying stuff like, oh, it has to be 5 hours before, on the trade, or, you have to shut your your positions down before an actual news event, happens. Now I understand, especially if you're in a live account, you're being really risky. But if I was in a trade 2 hours before and I believe that the market's going to go a certain direction, why do I need to close the trade, right? And this is the reason why it's becoming so the industry is becoming so complex, because on one hand, you have a trader who is accomplishing everything and don't get a payout. Their payout is denied for some odd reason, right? Or number two, you can't seem to pass the prop firm challenge because you have all these rules in place that don't make any sense. So it's unrealistic rules. Now, I believe there's some rules that need to be in place to keep you from over leveraging, right, and over risking. But if the trader is doing their job and they're doing excellent, why would you not want that trader on your team, prop firm? So I really don't understand that whole space right there. Now, this is my advice. This is my advice to a lot of traders who are actually trading prop firms, who feel like, the prop firm industry is definitely robbing them, right? I've been trading Forex for 5 to 6 years, and I think that it's time that we actually address their issue, right? Before prop firms existed, well, I would say this, before I knew about prop firms, right, there was no prop firm space, right? There was no prop firms to go to and say, hey, let's start trading all this capital. It was actually, you were dependent on your live account, right? And the only thing you had to worry about back then was brokers not paying you out, right? Or brokers shutting down, stealing your money, right? Which was kind of common, but that was not as common as prop firm industries either shutting down, not refunding back your money, or prop firm industry, you're doing all this work. I mean, you're literally trading for months and months and months and months, trying to get to you, probably even your first payout. Maybe you're on month number 3 or 4. You did everything right. You stick to the plan. The reason why you didn't get to your withdrawals is because you probably hit some losses, but you got your count way up, and then you're like, oh, I hit 10 grand finally. You go to a payout and they say, oh, you did this one little thing, just this one little thing, and because of that, you don't get a payout. Or they'll say, hey, well, I'm sorry, we're in a bad position, we can't pay you well. This is, to me, how the prop firm industry markets and capitalizes off of traders, especially traders who are gullible and have no clue about the prop firm industry. So my advice to you is save up to actually start funding your own account, because guys, the industry right now is getting tougher. It's getting harder and it's getting harder. What I'm not saying is completely disregard prop firms, right? You can utilize prop firms. But just think about this. You're trading prop firms, right? And you're already struggling as a trader, but then again, you're making all this money for them, right? And then in return, you get some type of feedback that doesn't really is not congruent in the way they say that things were going to go, right? You read up on a website, you did all your research, you did everything right, just to come to find out that you can't even get a payout, right? But the live account, going back to the live account is going to help you, because you can be up maybe $7,000-8,000 and withdraw that in a day. I wish prop firms were treated like brokers. If prop firms treat themselves like brokers, where you can say, hey, listen, every single time you profit, if you really want to withdraw, maybe you don't have to withdraw all of it, but if you really want to withdraw, you can withdraw X amount, right? So if you make $10,000, you can say, hey, even though you made $10,000 a day, you may not be able to withdraw all that, but you can withdraw 5,000 of it, right? I think if they were treating themselves like a broker instead of some way of coming up with all these crazy rules for you to make money, I believe the industry would be it'll be easier for traders to profit. Another thing that's really, really bothered me, especially when it comes to like new and beginning traders, is the promotions, right? Like you'll see these promotions that they create, and you get this account, and then all of a sudden you get like, you're doing very well, and then you get an email saying, hey, your account's breached, right? And you looked at the rules and everything, But then when you go back and looked at that, the email says, hey, you breached this rule, and you're like, hold on, this is a new rule, right? And then you come to find out that promotional that they have for that one account had a totally different rule, which you didn't know because they didn't state, which is another reason why traders get mad at the hidden rule, right? So that's why prop firms put on their websites now, no hidden rule. Well, I come to tell you right now, if you say there's no hidden rule and I search for that rule and for some reason you come up with this rule and I never seen it until like you showed it to me, I'm going to still call it a hidden rule, because there's no way in my lifetime that I should have to search super deeply just to find a rule. You, instead of naming the FAQs, right, or terms and whatever you want to call it, just say rules. Here's all the rules, right? Just say a rule, rule sheet, whatever. So that way it becomes easily accessible and there's no excuse. And the last thing is like these instant funding accounts. Like you'll have these instant funding accounts. Oh man, skip the process of the challenge account. Listen, it's still a challenge. You still have to do the same exact thing, but kind of a little bit harder, and it's more expensive. This is the way that the prop firm industry markets. Now, I understand because it's a business and they need to pay out their traders. They need to run their business somehow, right? They need to pay their bills. They need to do their due diligence. I don't know what they have behind the scenes. Now, that right there is still a bothersome. Like, if you're going to do an instant funding, just do away with the challenges. Why call it instant funding and make it this glamorous thing that is not golden for us, right? It's putting people under and making it very hard. Like you're selling something to traders that's not true. It's not logical. It has a little bit of truth in it, which yes, you do get an instant account. And yes, if you can do all this hard work, you get your payout. But I'd rather just hit my first phase, second phase, and easily get a payout without having to climb a hard hill just to get to my first payout. So at the end of the day, it's the same thing. It's still a challenge. It doesn't make any sense. So this is the reason why I believe personally that the prop firm industry is probably about 75% not so good and 25% probably good. You have too many prop firms nowadays who are claiming to be the #1 prop firm in the industry. Not true at all. Most of that's from, ratings. Some of that could be from bots. And I just think, guys, it's time that you stand up for yourself and actually ask yourself this question. If this is true for yourself, if you are not profiting from these prop firms, right, then why are you still trading prop firms, right? The reason why I still trade prop firms is because I utilize them to build capital, right? But for some of you guys who are getting ripped, getting scammed, getting like put, 6 feet under, right? I mean, they are just like putting your money in the grave. Your whole paycheck is gone. You saved up a whole paycheck just to get a 500K account, just to turn around and say, hey, you breached a rule. That was a hidden fee. That is insane. So why would you put your money in a prop firm account when you can put your money in a live account and be making that same amount of money and withdraw instantly? Even if it took 24 hours, I do not care. Because you could be up $8,000 and withdraw that the whole time versus, oh, I made $8,000. I'm just going to wait for the payout. But they say, hey, you got to trade at least 5 or 6 more days, right? And you can't open a lot size of 0.01. I'm just being funny right here. But there are prop firms out there that are really that strict. Like they want to make sure like they make it as hard as possible for you and me to profit. Because I promise you that if every single trader profited in this industry, the prop firm industry would not exist. But the prop firm industry exists because, hey, they thrive off of traders, okay? Now, like I said, I'm going to end this video by saying all prop firms are bad. So don't go in the comments and start saying, hey, you don't know how to trade prop firms. All prop firms aren't bad. I'm going to say it again. All prop firms aren't bad. I'm going to have to say it one more time. All prop firms are not bad, okay? I trade prop firms as well. But I will say this, a lot of prop firms and many prop firms do limit you from being successful. Some of you guys can be successful right now with just a simple $500 account, live account, but you're so scared to go live that you're afraid to blow your accounts, but you're going to put all your money and invest into prop firms that you're really unsuccessful in and actually trust them more. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. At the end of the day, they know that you are going to put all your money in them because they're offering you something bigger and more. Called a 10K account, 20K account, 100K account, 50K account, 200K account, 500K account, $1 million account, just to turn around and breach your account, or just to turn around and make things so much harder for you to profit. So I wish the prop firm industry in some way say, you know what, let's hear these traders out. Let's do away with all these rules. Now, of course, I would say they have to protect themselves too, right? So I'm not saying that they should not make rules. What I'm saying is the rules should be reasonable. It should be easier for traders to achieve their goals instead of making it very hard for them to even achieve their first payout, okay? So, yeah, what do you guys think? Put in the comments what you guys think. Please be respectful. I think that if we head into this direction where we continue to save capital so we can get our own live funds and go our own route with our live funds, I think that's the best way. But if you choose to go to prop firm account, again, make sure you do your research because there are prop firms out here who are not trustworthy. They do lie and they will not tell you the truth. And they know that you're struggling as a trader because they're watching these traders. They know the truth. They know how many traders fail. 90% of traders fail in this industry, guys. And if that was a flip, if 90% was winning and 10% weren't, I'm pretty sure most prop firms will not be open. I'm not saying prop firms won't, but I'll say most prop firms won't be open because they know they won't be able to pay that many traders out. So my name is JG Trades, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.